When I think about economic opportunity, which is what I want to focus my comments on here today, a big part of that is just lowering the cost burden for families and businesses who are just trying to do the right thing, but oftentimes feel like they can't get ahead because there's so much blocking their forward progress. And I've heard firsthand from Pennsylvanians that we have got to cut costs here in Pennsylvania, and that is exactly what we've done in my year and a half or so as your governor. So let's talk about that. From rent to childcare to helping seniors stay in their homes, we have reduced costs. This is a promise I made when I was campaigning to be your governor, and a promise that we've kept and work that is ongoing as we go forward in this work. So let me start by talking about childcare and how we've reduced the costs associated with one of the most significant costs to a family budget every day. When you think about a typical household budget, the cost of childcare is one of the leading drivers of cost for that family. That is one of the reasons why we've invested in initiatives like Childcare Works and Pre-K Counts that have funded places like Opportunity House and others like it across this Commonwealth. It's a way to invest in a place like this and tackle reducing the cost for those who send their children here. But that is not enough if we want to reduce the burden on families who are dealing with rising child care costs every day. We have also worked to lower their costs through laws that I have signed and one that I am about to sign to put more money back in the pockets of parents and back in the pockets of employers who look out for those parents. Let me explain. A new law here in Pennsylvania has tripled the child care tax refundable state credit from $630 when I took office to $2,100 today. And let me be clear, this isn't some proposal. This isn't something we would like to do. This is something we got done together. This is law now in Pennsylvania. Jennifer knows that these tax credits make a huge difference. And that is money that goes directly back into the pockets of families all across Pennsylvania. But listen, if we want to reduce the costs of childcare, part of it is investing in places like Opportunity House. Part of it is putting money back in parents' pockets. And then part of it is rewarding the employers that do the right thing and easing their cost burden so they can invest more in their employees. Let me explain about that. Here in Pennsylvania, our economy literally loses $3.5 billion every year in lost earnings, lost productivity, and lost tax revenue for people who can't go into the workforce because they can't access childcare. Businesses understand this, that when families don't have affordable childcare, a parent maybe needs to quit their job or maybe doesn't start that small business like Johnny has in her past lives to be able to do the things that stimulate them and stimulate the local economy. And when you take Pennsylvanians out of the workforce, you reduce creativity and you reduce opportunity, not just for that individual or that individual business, but it has an effect on all of us. And access to childcare is a key part of what holds people back when they can't find a stable, safe place for their children. Listen, I've heard about this repeatedly from our small businesses across Pennsylvania and from our Chamber of Commerce and business leaders across the Commonwealth. They have made clear that lowering the cost of childcare is a priority for them, and it is for us as well. That is why we not only cut taxes for families to help them afford childcare, but we also cut taxes for the businesses that are helping invest in childcare opportunities for their employees. This brand new tax credit that I'm about to sign into law goes directly to our businesses, where they can earn up to a 30% tax refund back on any of their contributions that they make for employees to send their kids to childcare. Let me put that into real dollars for you. Starting this next tax season, again, this isn't theoretical, this is happening, businesses will be able to claim up to $500 in tax credits for each and every eligible employee whose child care costs they contribute to. So, you're a small business, you're any business in Pennsylvania, you contribute to that employee's child care costs, you are now eligible for a $500 tax credit for each and every one of those employees. That's on top of the refunds that we are giving directly to the individuals who are paying for those child care costs. We're making it easier now for businesses to pay for part of child care, lowering those costs even further, coming at this from both directions. Now, we understand that we've got to reduce the cost for families, and we got to continue to reduce costs for businesses if they're going to thrive here in Pennsylvania. So here's another way we're helping our small businesses, by increasing the net operating loss deduction. Now, I know those are a lot of government speak words, so let me drill down on what net operating loss actually means and how it benefits small businesses across Pennsylvania. We know that if you're starting a small business, it can take time to get it off the ground. And those first few years are really tough. You're making a lot of sacrifices. You're reaching into your pocket, and you're hoping that your dream of building this small business, the American dream, is going to take off. But as you're going through that, there are real losses that these businesses are dealing with. Well, the key to allowing those small businesses to stay afloat and move forward with their dream is to allow them to be able to write off part of those losses from their taxes. Essentially, not have to absorb all those losses, but get a tax break when that occurs. For many, many years in Pennsylvania, we only allowed small businesses to write off up to 40% of those losses. And for many, many years, we heard businesses come to us and say, we need more help. These are these small neighborhood businesses that just need a little bit of extra help to get off the ground. Well, we heard them. After years of Harrisburg talking about it, we got to work, we built a bipartisan coalition, and we got stuff done. And now, those same small businesses can write off up to 80% of those losses, allowing them a better opportunity to get their small business off the ground. That's more money in the pockets of small businesses, more money in the pockets of families who are trying to afford childcare. This is a big deal when it comes to cutting costs and stimulating growth in our economy and helping support our families. Let me mention one other area where we have made real investments back in Pennsylvanians, where we've cut their costs. So we've talked about the mom who's trying to care for her kids and work. We've talked about those small businesses trying to get off the ground. We've talked about great places like Opportunity House that need investments in order to provide more opportunity for others. But how about those folks who already put their kids through childcare, who already put their kids through school, who retired, and they just want to stay in their homes? They just want to be able to afford to live out their golden years with dignity and hang out with the grandkids a little bit too, right? Well, for them, we heard them. 20 years they've been showing up in the Capitol, and the seniors of Pennsylvania have been asking for a tax break. And for 20 years, they went back, not empty-handed, but without the relief that they deserved. We built a bipartisan coalition, and we finally delivered, after 2 decades, significant tax relief for seniors all across Pennsylvania. We nearly doubled the rebate that they get back on their property taxes or their rent. And we nearly doubled the number of seniors that now qualify for this rebate. This is a big deal for seniors across Pennsylvania who can now get $1,000 back, and more seniors are able to get help. To date, we have received and processed more than 500,000 tax cuts for seniors across Pennsylvania, giving them $300 million back in their pockets. That's significant relief for our seniors, and it includes 105,000 first-time seniors getting that relief. Remember, we increased the rebate they could get, and we expanded the number of seniors who are able to get that relief. So whether it's our kids, our moms and dads struggling to afford childcare, our small businesses struggling to get off the ground, or our seniors who are struggling to stay in their home, we have delivered meaningful relief for all of those Pennsylvanians. And I'm proud of that fact. And here's what I'll say to you in closing. You should be proud of that too. Let me explain why. Pennsylvania is the only state in the nation with a divided legislature. I heard your talking points before, Rep. A House led by Democrats, Senate led by Republicans. So think about it. In these hyper-polarized times where people get real divided over politics, literally for us to get any of this done, it required us to get Republican and Democratic votes alike. Now, why should you be proud of that? Because when your elected leaders, like the representative, like Senator Schwenk, go to work for you and make hard decisions and build those coalitions, we got to honor and salute them. When we move the ball down the field as Pennsylvanians, we should celebrate that. I know it's easy to get cynical in our politics today, but when you get stuff done, we should come back home and show the good people of Pennsylvania our work, and we should thank the elected leaders that get it done. I'm really grateful to the senator and the representative for saying kind words about the work I'm doing as governor, but the truth is, I can't get those bills to my desk until the senator, until the representative build the coalitions and vote for them and get them to my desk. This community is blessed with outstanding leaders who are making stuff happen, who are getting stuff done in Pennsylvania. And I am grateful to them, and I'm grateful to all of you for giving us this opportunity to serve you and to cut costs for our seniors, for kids, for families, and for businesses all across Pennsylvania. So thank you for welcoming me back here to Berks County. I'm going to sign some of these tax cuts into law right now, and I get to hang out with some kids, which will be cool. But before we spend all that time together, I'll also answer some questions from the media. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Come on over here.